Okay, I was asked to work number 22 from the fraction review. One more reminder that we all have different numbers, slightly different problems. This problem asked me to find the distance around the figure, which is also called the perimeter of the figure. And what we do is we just add up all the sides. Now what makes this easier is if you notice that these two values are the same and then these four are the same. So I could just add them all up, or I could take this value, and since there are two of them, I could multiply it by 2. And then take this value, and since there are 4 of them, multiply it by 4, and then add those together, and that might be easier. So basically, let me write down what I just said. I'm technically doing 8 7/8 plus 8 7/8 plus 4 7/16 plus 4 7/16, and 2 more times. Okay, technically that's what I'm doing. Now, since this is a repeated addition, this would be the same thing as 2 times 8 7/8, because there are 2 of them, plus, since there are 4 of these, 4 times 4 7/16. Okay, so if we want to work this, what's going to make it easier is if we turn it into an improper fraction. And to change it to an improper fraction, we do around the world. 8 times 8 plus 7 is 71. So this is 2 times 71 over 8. 8 times 8, 64, plus 7 got me to 71. That denominator is an 8, this is an 8. Plus 4 times. We do the same thing here. 16 times 4 is 64, plus 7, well, we've got the same value there. This is 71, but this is 16ths, not eighths. That's the big difference here. Okay, so what we want to do here is we now do our order of operations, which means we have to do the multiplications first. That's a 2 over 1, that's a 4 over 1. It's important to remember that whenever we are doing the multiplications. I can cross cancel here. The 2 and the 8 will reduce. Oh, that should be a 1 there. That should be a 1, sorry. The 2 and the 8 will reduce. If I divide this by 2, I get a 1. If I divide this by 2, I get a 4. So that first fraction after the multiplication is 71 fourths plus. For this one, the 4 and the 16 will also reduce. Divide this by 4, that's a 1. Divide this by 4, it's a 4. So I have another 71 over 4. Okay. So now I have just an addition. They have a common denominator, so we add across the top. 71 plus 71 over 4. And 71 plus 71 would be 142. Okay, now I know this is not in lowest terms because they're both divisible by 2. They're even. So let's divide by 2 and see what we get. And you get 71 over 2. If you were just asked to add these up, 71 over 2 is probably a perfectly good answer. On this problem, though, they ask you to take your fraction and change it back to a mixed number. So that means we need to figure out what 2 divided into 71 is. 71, well, 2 goes into 7 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. Bring down the 1. 2 divides into 11. It goes in 2 times. 5. My brain is on vacation still. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract and you get a 1. So the answer they are looking for is 35 and 1/2.